Have you ever had a sudden thought to call a friend or an impression to go somewhere completely unexpected, but then you immediately talk yourself out of it? You tell yourself, that was just my imagination, or I'm just making this up. Perhaps you're asking, how can I know God is speaking to me? Because you're tired of the fear and paralysis that comes from not trusting your own spiritual ears. Well, don't worry, my friend. By the end of today's episode, you will understand the goodness test, the simple rule that helps you identify the source of every thought. And you'll learn why a bizarre idea might just be a direct message from the Father of Lights. We're going to help you solve spiritual second guessing by sharing stories of showing up unannounced on doorsteps and the power of repetition. We're moving from doubting the whisper to delivering the miracle. Stay tuned. Ordinary women, extraordinary faith. When God calls, we say yes. The Arise Women of God podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Arise Women of God podcast. I'm your host, Tamara K. Anderson, and joining me today is my wise friend, Kari Anjewierden, a member of our Women Warriors of Light Advisory Board. And today we're diving into the mechanics of discerning God's voice from the static of our own minds. First, we're going to discuss the source check and why any thought that invites you to do good is a safe bet to attribute to God. Second, I'll share an awkward doorstep moment that proves even when we feel anxious, God can still work through our obedience. Third, Kari explains the repetition signal. Why hearing the same message multiple times is the divine rivet on your attention. And finally, we'll talk about the out-of-the-blue epiphanies, those light bulb moments that prove that God is the Father of lights. But first, let's kick it off with the goodness test.
A lot of my younger life was lived in fear of choosing the wrong thing, making the wrong decision, some of those things. And that has paralyzed me in the past. And I'm so grateful to be in a place now where I'm confident in what I hear. I've learned some tools to help me that have made it so that I don't have to be paralyzed anymore. And I'm so grateful for that. And one of those things that has come is this a good thing? The thing that I've been asked to do, how do I know if it's coming from God or from somewhere else? If it asked me to do something that is good, I can know it's from God. I can know it's from God because the adversary will never ask us to do anything good. And it will also create that contention in your body so that you feel anxious about it in some ways. And you can check that too. You can ask God, is this from you? And if you still feel good about it, you can be pretty sure that it's from Him.
Oh, I really love that. It reminds me of that verse in James chapter 1, verse 17, where it says, every good gift, and you can even say every good inspiration, and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights. I like that description of God, the Father of lights, because you can almost think of it as light coming down, inspiration. If it's good light, if it's bringing you joy, it's from Him, right? If it leads to light, it is from the Father of lights. But sometimes that light points us to a path that feels a little bit scary. We see this in the story of Mary, the mother of Jesus. She was troubled and anxious when she first saw the angel, but she moved forward towards feeling peace by the end. I had a similar experience when I was prompted to knock on a door. Sometimes I think God gives us inspiration that does nudge us out of our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because He wants us to grow. There is no growth in the comfort zone. And so God wants us to grow. He's going to ask you to maybe give you the thought to show up on somebody's doorstep unannounced. I remember the first time I got that impression, I was a young mom and I was just like, wait, what? Really? You want me to swing by this person's house? I don't know them very well. And I'm like, I almost remember having like an internal dialogue with God. Are you sure? You really want me to just show up unannounced on their doorstep. I was driving home from the store with my kids in tow, and I was just like, well, okay. And I remember knocking, and she answered the door, and I think I literally said, "Hi, it's good to see you. I have no idea why I'm here." Oh my goodness gracious. But the beauty of it was she had just been placed on bed rest, and our kids went off and played together, and I was able to help her fold laundry and just talk to her. And I think that's what she needed right then. And so even though it was scary and was pushing me out of my comfort zone a little bit, it ended up being such a miracle. And I started to learn that even when God nudges me, and I might feel anxious about it at first, but it's a good thing, it can work out for someone else's good. Growth happens outside the comfort zone, my friend. But if you're still not sure, God often uses the signal of repetition to make sure you are paying attention and got the message.
Repetition is something for me that helps me to know that it is definitely from God, because it keeps appearing in my life. And there's a quote from Henry Eyring where he talks about when the words of the scriptures or of God seem repetitive, that should rivet our attention. And I've learned to pay attention when those things keep occurring. It's a signal to me that God is definitely speaking to me. So years ago, I had a conversation with a woman who is a leader in the church that I go to, and she talked about, going back to what you said, Tamara, of sometimes the things that she was asked to do felt so bizarre to her, so strange, not in her comfort zone. But she talked about those things that come out of the blue that you just know that has to be God speaking to you, because that thought, that impression couldn't have come any other way. And I love that. And it is something that I have thought about often when I have those experiences.
Whether it's a repetitive whisper or an out of the blue light bulb moment, God is speaking to you. If it invites you to do good, trust it. If it brings light, act on it. You shall know them by their fruits. And God's fruit is always peace and joy. If you're ready to stop second guessing and start recognizing those divine fingerprints, we have a perfect tool for you. You can download our free Roadmap to Revelation, 6 Steps to Hearing God in Your Daily Life, along with an audio meditation download, which is totally free, that will help you clear the static so that you can receive light and revelation more clearly from God. And you can get that downloadable bundle by clicking the link below. So my friend, go act on one good thought today and watch a little miracle unfold. God is speaking to you. Ask Him to teach you how and to help you be bold enough to act when you recognize His whisper. And until next time, may you arise, do it God's way, God strong.